Hello, everyone. Sorry, I was just putting the finishing touches on a little Christmas card while I was sitting here waiting. Okay, it is good to be back with you on a Tuesday night. It is the 15th of October, 2024. If you are watching on replay, if you are new to our channel, my name is Kath, and I'm the creator of the Cheapskates Club, where our goal is to live life debt-free, cashed up, and laughing, even during a cost of living crisis. I try to go live here on YouTube every Tuesday night at 7:30 p.m. Australian Eastern Time, or Australian Eastern Summer Time for daylight savings. So if you're not already a subscriber to our channel, just click that little subscribe button, and then we can notify you every time I go live or every time I upload another video. Subscribing's free, only takes a click, and it means you'll never miss out on what's going on in the Cheapskates Club. So let me see. Got to go back here. I'll figure out how. I can't remember how to do this, guys. It's only been a week. But 36 people watching, so that's really good. 36 people remembered, even with daylight savings time. Okay, so Cheryl was first. Congratulations, Cheryl. What are you putting in the show, Cheryl? Let us know. We want to know what you're putting in the show. Hi, Greg Evans. Hello, Jenny. Hello, Evelyn and Maureen. Hello, Tabitha. Hi, Mary. Hi, Michelle. Sorry, I was reading Kylie's post. She's just finished watching Sutton's Days. Sutton's Days, Lisa's doing a Stocktoberfest for this month. Some of it applies to us. Some of it I've seen is a bit perhaps... Even for me and my trusty tinfoil hat, it's a bit out there. So take what you need. And like I say, for everything, DYOR, do your own research. Okay, hi Estelle, running around like a headless chook. So was I. Hello Sandra and Melissa, Aradia. Hello, Kelly. Hi, Delaney. Everyone, you'll see Delaney's name is in blue. That means she is our moderator for tonight. So please remember to play nice. Keep your comments polite. If you wouldn't like someone to say that, whatever it is to you, don't say it to someone else. And make Delaney's job easy tonight. You usually do. Hi, Julie and Barb. And Beverly, hi Fiona. Okay, I've caught up with all the highs. So I want to get into it because I'm still running on maybe 3/4 of my normal self. This bug is taking a bit to get over. Okay, Cheryl's got chocolate cake, scones, bread, and competition fruit cake in the show. Well, I hope you do really, really well. Yes. Let us know. We'll be waiting to see, waiting to hear. Good luck with it all. Okay. I decided to talk about planning the 2025 pantry tonight because that's what I'm doing. I'm planning our 2025 pantry. And I mentioned during the week on Cheapskates Chatter that I was working on next year's meal plans, and someone went, working on next year's meal plans? I went, oh, yeah, guys, I do, because I put out a new meal plan every month, and I like to be able to do them ahead of time just to make sure that they're right. So, yeah, I'm working on a lot of stuff for Cheapskates 2025 already. But for Armstrong household, I'm working on a lot of stuff for 2025 too, and one of them is the pantry. Now, I've been restocking most things as we use them up this year. So my big yearly shopping between Christmas and New Year's won't be quite as big. Well, okay. In theory, it shouldn't be as big, but it will still be big. I also want to plan the pantry for next year because prices are going haywire. Have you noticed? I'm sure you have. And have you noticed that things are disappearing off the shelves? Now, sometimes they're gone for a couple of weeks. Sometimes they might be gone for a few months. Some things that I used to buy have just gone, just vanished. They're no longer available. The slot isn't there. They're just gone. And there's so much happening in our world that affects our pantries that planning ahead and getting them filled just makes sense, especially if there are some things you just can't live without, like my particular tea or the coffee. I have noticed, though, in the last month, because I've been taking notice, some things have suddenly dropped in price. And some of them have gone, right back to pre-world gone crazy days. They've dropped a lot. So that sort of triggered my stockpiler spidey senses, because usually when things suddenly drop in price by a lot, it's often a sign. It's a sign that they're either going to jump in price by a huge amount when they come back, or they're going to disappear, or they're going to become really scarce. It's a sign that something's happening. Now, this week, I noticed a couple of weeks ago, but again this week, chicken fillets have come down in price again. Chicken breast fillets this week at Tasman Meats, $5.99 a kilo. Now, I haven't checked Australian Butcher. These are both Victorian butchers. Melbourne viewers, Victorian viewers might know about them. If you're in Queensland, Karen often posts great deals on meat and fruit and veg over on Cheapskate's Chatter. So you can check those out if you're in Queensland or anywhere around where they are. Cheapskate's Chatter is our Facebook group, and you are welcome to join if you haven't already. We'd love to have you. Just remember to answer the question and agree to the group rules. You can't answer the question and not agree to the group rules. You can't agree to the group rules and not answer the question. It won't work. You won't be accepted. So answer the question and agree to the group rules, and your request to join should be approved. And that's only to keep it a safe place. It's just to keep it safe for you guys, to keep it safe for me. So, can you hear Lacey dog barking out there? We're dog sitting again. How cool is that? Dog sitting again. Okay, now we've got some. Hello, Kerry. Fiona says to stock up on tinned and jarred tomato stuff unless you have plenty of jars of your own. We grow our tomatoes, so I'm usually making sauce, dehydrating them, pureeing them, eating them, because I really, really, really don't like buying tomatoes out of season for us. So I tend to keep them going in the garden as long as I can. They didn't last as long this year because we went away, but often I'll still have tomatoes, be picking tomatoes in July, even close to August, because I baby those plants and keep them going. Greg Evans went to Woolies yesterday. The shelves were so scarce and spread out. Yeah. And I've been listening to the the bird flu. What's the word? Propaganda? Is that the word I want to use? It's really hard to get any actual facts about this. There's a lot of the government's going to, and so said, and such is the but facts, really hard facts, are really hard to get. But eggs are still quite scarce. My local Coles still has them at 2 trays, 2 dozen per, or 2 packs per person. Costco, when I was there a few weeks ago with Hannah, you could get 1 tray per customer. So eggs and bird flu, avian flu, will be something to watch out for, which sort of surprises me. That's why I'm saying chicken has dropped in price. Even whole chickens down to $3.99 a kilo. That's $1 to $1.50 a kilo off, depending on the type of chicken, that whole brand that you buy. It just, yeah. Anyway, Kylie says not much of a discount, but every 25 cents counts. Washing soda $4.75 a kilo at the reject shop. Same product at Woolies and Coles, $5 a kilo. Is it the electric soda, Kylie? Or is it just another brand of washing soda? Just out of curiosity, that's all. Fiona says her Woolies has been the same. Estelle says she doesn't think she has a Tasman Neats near. Is there not one? Not one in Geelong, Estelle. Let's see if I can find one for you. So I know I have to travel to get to it now, and it's a real pain in the patootie. No, there's not. Werribee would be your closest. That's a shame. Anyway, keep your eye open. There's bound to be good sales somewhere. Jane says Bonds, men's and boys' undies are on special at Coles. So that's good to know coming up for Christmas, because they make good stocking stuffers. What I used to do when our kids were little, because Mummy bought boring stuff, you know, if they had to have undies or socks or something during the year, Mummy just bought plain and the cheapest she could get, you know, Best for Less or Kmart or whatever. But Christmas, in their stocking, they always got the brand ones, the licensed ones. So it'd be Batman for the boys, or Spider-Man, or, you know, Barbie, or Bananas in Pajamas, or whatever for Hannah. And I tried to do that just to make it a bit more special. So they were getting stuff they needed that I needed them to get, but it was fancy stuff that Mummy didn't normally buy. So it came in their Christmas stockings, and it was a little bit more special. Unless I get that disease. Which disease? Fiona, I'm not following, sorry. Bird flu. Okay. We've had bird flu in Australia, different strains of bird flu in Australia for a very long time. And if humans contract it, it makes them very ill, and it does kill. Now, we had a friend's daughter. She was pregnant and she got it. She went into a coma. And she ended up dying. They were able to save the baby, but she did die from this avian flu. So it does kill, but then lots of things kill too. Lots of other diseases do. It's a case of don't panic, use your brain and practice common hygiene, and, you know, be a bit sensible about it. Don't panic. Cheryl says she's been writing the date opened on things like washing detergent and dishwasher tablets so she can calculate how long it lasts. And then you know how many you need to buy to last a year. That's right. I know that we use 6 bottles of, actually might up it to 7, and that'll give me a fallback bottle, 6 bottles of dishwashing liquid a year, because I dilute it 50-50 with water. And because we have the dishwasher, I do very little hand washing up. You know, if it doesn't go in the dishwasher, it's probably not going to be in my kitchen. There's no point in having a machine to do that cleaning and me still have to do it. So I only use a very little bit of dishwashing liquid through the year. 6 bottles a year is what I buy. I buy Morning Fresh if it's on sale. I will buy the Aldi Tandle concentrate if it's cheaper than the Morning Fresh on sale. Whatever's the cheapest. Dilute it 50-50 with water. It works just as well. You still only need a little bit. So the same deal goes with the dishwasher powder. At the moment, I'm using Woolworths dishwasher powder because that's what I could get when I was shopping for it. And I know 1 kilo bottle will do us 2 months. I decant it into a container. I actually have a little measure in there that stays in there, one of those into the dispenser for the dishwasher, and the dishes come out clean. And the dishwasher's clean. Go figure. So it helps to know how much you use over a period of time so that you can build your pantry and keep ahead on your groceries. Kylie says it is electric brand at the reject shop. Excellent. We will I will add that to my list and I'll just get it there. Okay, Jenny says there was Tasman in Geelong, but it closed. Barb says, IGF chicken breast for $8.99 starting tomorrow. $8.99 a kilo. Excellent. And tomato plants being destroyed here in Australia. Well, you know, I was in Coles last week. No, must have been the week before. Anyway, the last time I was at Coles, and they were actually selling what they called heirloom tomatoes, and they were cheaper than the regular tomatoes. They were $1.40 a kilo cheaper. And to me, they look like, we call them mortgage lifters. I don't know what, they didn't have a name on them. They just said they were heirloom tomatoes. They actually look like real tomatoes. They were really good. So I thought that was interesting that the heirloom were actually cheaper. Yeah. There you go. Kylie said Southeast Queensland Slacks Creek had 4 roasting chickens for $12 yesterday. Fresh and Save in Morayfield, $7.99 for chicken breast. There we go. Hello. All right. So they're all stock up prices. And I guess we're coming into the time of year when we're going to need to start stocking up for different things. So I've been, you know, planning on this, and then they throw in the special for the chicken and the special for the mince, and I'm like, oh my goodness, how's that going to affect my budget? Sends me crazy and mucks up my planning. Anyway, I'm planning my grocery shopping for the next few months in the hope that, yes, I will do a big shop between Christmas and New Year as usual, but it won't be maybe quite so big. Now, way back, before I did once a year shopping, I would spread the January and February shopping over October, November and December. I'd split the January and February lists over those 3 months and just buy extra in those months. And I did that mainly so I didn't have to head into a supermarket until after the kids went back to school. Because there's nothing worse than supermarket shopping during school holidays. Doesn't make me smile. It just doesn't. And I had 3 kids and I used to take them with me because I had to. But shopping is boring. Shopping is not a recreational activity. Shopping is a chore. It's not a hobby. It's not entertainment. It's a chore. In our house anyway. So doing that worked really well because it meant we could enjoy the summer holidays, enjoy the school holidays. We still ate. We still had everything we needed. And I did not have to go back into a supermarket until I was ready to do the March shopping the next year. I loved it. Loved it. Now, if once a year shopping seems overwhelming to you, then maybe you could try spreading your January, at the very least, shopping over the next 2.5 months and see how you go. You might not have to set foot in a supermarket in January other than to get your perishables, your milk, cream if you buy it, that sort of thing. See how it goes, and that could get you started on quarterly shopping, which might lead to 6 monthly shopping, which might lead to yearly shopping. It is really good to not have to shop all the time. It is so freeing. I love it. Now, I wouldn't go into debt to do it. If you've got the cash and you can spread it over the next couple of months, that's fine. Give it a try and see how you go. And I've said this before, I say it often, I buy pretty much the same stuff all the time. I noticed way back when I switched to monthly shopping, which was way back when disaster struck, so 28 years ago, I realized that I bought pretty much the same thing week in, week out. I bought pretty much the same thing. So it's easy enough to do if you have a shopping list, a standard shopping list, and you just buy it. And if you buy ingredients, it's even easier to do. It just works. It just works. It's not for everybody. Lots of people like to go grocery shopping. I don't. There's better things to do with my time than push a trolley around a supermarket. But anyway, so like I said, I've been replacing most things as we use them, and the pantry is actually looking good for this time of year when normally it's starting to look quite empty. But there are still gaps that need to be filled, and I would like to get them filled as soon as I can. The times are uncertain. Where we are, times are uncertain. So I want to get those gaps filled as soon as we can. And I don't think it's being greedy. I think it's just being prudent, being a little wise, planning ahead. Because I'm not buying more than I would use over the next 12 months. I'm just buying what we will use over the next 12 months. And then I won't be buying it any other time. But to do all that means I need to do a detailed stock take. That's hard work. That's hard work. I keep a running list of most things. Sometimes people forget to cross something off or add something. But, doing a detailed one for me means emptying everything off the shelves, cleaning all the shelves, making sure all the jars are facing the right way, all the tins are facing the right way, they're all in the right order. Newest things are on the bottom, so the oldest gets used first, that sort of thing. So it takes me a couple of days to do that detailed stock take of the pantry. But once I've done it, I can make a shopping list. Yes. because you've got to have a shopping list. You can't shop without a shopping list. Okay. Hello, Coralie. There used to be one on Gardening Australia. Try Diggers Club. Any of the gardening websites should have one. Or go to, what's it called? Is it the, let me see. Fruit and Vegetable Growers Association. Ozveg. Oh, by the way, won't it open? Australian Fresh Produce Alliance. There are lists around that you can get. It will depend on whether you're north or south, east or west. But there are lists around. I can't find, and in saying that, I can't find one. Fruit growers. Okay. There's lots of them. So they are around. Just do a bit of a search on it and you will find it. Depends which brand of milk powder you buy, Estelle. If you don't like the flavour of milk powder, try mixing it half and half until you get used to it. So half powdered milk made up with fresh milk, gradually increasing the amount of powdered milk you use, or chill it. It's much nicer if it's chilled, really icy cold. And with milk powder, the full cream certainly tastes better than the low fat or the skim or the non-fat, because they're just nasty. They're fine to use to make yogurt or in cooking, but for drinking and on cereal and in coffee, they're just nasty. Well, I think they're just nasty. You will love your pressure canner, Kylie. Absolutely, you will love your pressure canner. Depending on the size of your family, I know I use more pint jars than anything else these days. Now where sort of the family is shrinking a little, I'm using more pint jars, but I do use quarts for soups, for meatballs, that sort of thing. Otherwise, pints are perfect size. For a pint of meatballs is enough for Wayne and I. If we go away, I take a jar of meatballs with us. Whereas a pint of mince is about the equivalent of 500 grams of mince, and that's plenty for spag bowl or lasagna or pie filling or things like that. You will love your pressure canner. Absolutely love it. Don't be afraid of it. And did you get the one with the jiggler? Jiggler's slightly more accurate than using the gauge. So use your jiggler and don't be afraid of it. You will love it. Best price per kilo, yes. I think we all want to preserve more this summer. I've got a big, long preserving list. Maybe we should do a preserving show again. Aldi milk powder. Okay, thanks, Estelle. Hi, Lacey. Honestly, I'm sure she waits. She does. She waits until we are busy doing something else. Then she decides she wants attention. She's a naughty dog. Okay, let me get back on this. I can make my shopping list. Once I've done my detailed stock take, I can make my shopping list. Now, once I've done the shopping list, I like to check the prices. So I actually go in store to check my prices. I take my list with me and I write, A, C, W. I might have to add the reject shop for a few things. And I put the prices so I can compare prices, because I will shop where I can get the best deal. I'm not brand loyal and I'm not store loyal. I will shop where I can get the best deal for my money. I need to, because we're on a limited income. We don't have unlimited funds to spend at supermarkets. Like you, we're all on limited incomes. We've all got a budget we have to stick to. So I shop where it's cheapest. So if that means I have to go to 3 different stores or 4 different stores or 5 or 6, that's what I will do. Because that's how I make our grocery shopping fit our grocery budget. And I know a while back when I did an interview about this, and I got a lot of flack and people talking about, well, you really can't do it and you're not buying everything. And well, do you know what? We eat really well. We go without nothing. We still have cakes and we still have biscuits. We still have slices. We still have savoury things like cheese twists and pita chips and whatever. I make sausage rolls. I make pies. I make meat pies. I make chicken pies. I make apple pies and apricot pies and peach pies. I will do rhubarb and apple crumbles. We will have corned beef, or we will have chicken. We will have roasts. We eat really well, and we eat lots of salad. It helps that we grow lots of salad veg. In winter, we eat lots of veg. Again, it helps that we grow it and preserve it. But we eat really well, and we do it on a budget. But we're only able to do that because of the planning that goes into it. If I was to just wander into a supermarket and go, oh my, I've got to buy food for the next month. What are we going to have? Well, we better have some of this, and we better have some of this, and we better have some of this. Oh, cheese, eggs, butter, without knowing what we already have and without knowing what we need, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. So I make my shopping list and I check my prices and I shop where it is cheapest for those things. That's why it takes a week to do the shopping between Christmas and New Year, because I go to do it. I don't do it all in one day. It's too much. The other thing I do is plan my shopping around what I'm buying. So if I'm buying a lot of fresh produce that might need to be preserved, it might need to go into the dehydrator, it might need to be bottled or canned, I plan the shopping around that, because that takes time and that has to be done straight away, pretty much, or within a couple of days. I can't, buy a box of tomatoes and 2 boxes of peaches and come back to them in 3 weeks and expect to be able to make sauce and peach pie filling. It won't work. So I have to plan around those things too. If I'm buying a lot of chicken or a lot of mince or corned beef or whatever, then I need to plan around and allow the time to get that all canned up, because remember, I'm trying to get away from the freezer. Trying really hard to get away from the freezer. It's with the chicken and the mince on such great specials this week, I'm so tempted to go and stock up. But again, I'm time poor this week with different things happening over the next 5 days. I'm time poor. So I'm pretty sure I won't get it all preserved. That means it would have to go in the freezer. And I don't really want to put it in the freezer. Anyway, it's my problem, not yours. But it's one of the things I take into consideration as I plan my shopping, because it has to be done. It's not something that can be put off. The other thing I sort of half consciously think about is Flybuys and Woolies Extra and Aldi, and see which one offers the best deal, especially on the expensive things like the butter, oil, cheese. They're things that I use a lot of. They're things that I can buy a year's worth and it will keep, especially the oil and cheese will stay. Butter I will put in the freezer. It usually goes in the little freezer over the fridge, so I can keep a year's worth of butter without a problem. It's just forking out the money for it when it's so expensive at the moment. Victorian cheapskaters, keep an eye on NQR. They had Devondale butter on sale, not last week, the week before. I'm pretty sure that it will come back again in the next 2 to 4 weeks. So keep an eye out for it. And if you're in Melbourne, especially the southeast, look for Save More. Often have good deals on butter too. So those sorts of things are what I'm looking at, especially this time of year. I look for those things, make a note of them, check the prices so that I can stock up when I need to. Lacey wants to be part of the show. Lacey wants a treat, but she's not going to get a treat. Salad veg are expensive, but they're really easy to grow. I know that you don't have a lot of time, Estelle, but based on what you eat, if you eat a lot of lettuce, grow some lettuce, even a bag, a box, a plastic bucket, something, you can grow lettuce really easily. Jane eats a lot of fish. She gets paid for sewing alterations in fresh caught fish. That sounds nice. Pigs and goats. Okay, all right. Now, let me get back to here. So, I'm planning my 2025 pantry. It is still going to be ingredients based. So I will be buying more flour. I will be buying self-raising and plain flour. I don't buy baker's flour or bread flour. I buy plain flour and self-raising flour. I do buy gluten flour because I use it. I use it to make schnitzels and other things. Rice. We use about 25 kilos of rice a year. So I will stock up on rice. I got 10 kilos last week in my grocery order. I will get another 10 next week and then maybe another 10. Thinking ahead. Just to fill the rice tub. Sugar. We don't use a lot of sugar. We don't have sugar in anything, a bit in baking, and I try to keep it to a minimum, and mostly in jam if I'm making jam for sugar. So we don't use a lot of sugar. So I only buy the 2 kilo packs. I don't buy it in bulk. It just fits better on the shelf, and I know 2 kilo packs will fill my canister in the pantry. So another quirky thing. But we don't use a lot of sugar. I do keep it because it's handy, and I know a couple of years ago when we were talking about, bartering situations and things you could trade, sugar was something that was on the list, sugar and salt. Again, I don't use salt in my cooking or my baking. I don't like salt. So I don't use it. The only thing salt goes in is brine for pickles or for corned meat. I don't use it in anything else. So again, we don't use a lot of salt at all. Those sorts of things I don't buy every year, although I might add more salt to the pantry this year. Just thinking ahead. I might add some salt. I don't know. Last time I bought it, it was $4.95 a kilo. I haven't bought it for a while, Estelle, because I buy it in 25 kilo bags. So, and that lasts us a while. So, you can check, I think, who has it? The Full Pantry in Croydon. Oh, I think they're out at Yarra Glen now, but they've got a website. Try Two Brothers Foods might have it. Hindustan, I'm not sure whether Hindustan do gluten flour or not. Can't remember whether I've ever seen it at Hindustan. Oh, stop that. Keeps telling me I'm going to turn off. Hindustan. Hindustan Imports. There we go. Let's see if we can find it. Do they have a search? Yes. No, Hindustan don't have it. Two Brothers. Let's see what they come up with. Gluten. Yeah. And they don't seem to have it either. Okay, you might have to do a search on who sells gluten flour. I've still got quite a lot, so I haven't been worried about it. Where to? If you just buy it in the little packets, it's very expensive. White Wings apparently do gluten flour, but it's $10 a kilo. Too much. That's too expensive. Vital Wheat Gluten, same thing, $14.80 a kilo. One here, what size is it? Goodness, it's slow. No, that's $16.10 a kilo. That's too much. Yeah, you'll just have to do a search. Health food shops will have it, but it will be very expensive. So I'm trying to think. There's another place that sells it in bulk, and they're in South Australia. I think Two Brothers are in Western Australia. I might have them mixed up. Yeah, $10 for 500 grams. It's very expensive. Annabelle doesn't have salt either. Kylie puts salt under her tongue. Two Brothers, $6 a kilo. It wouldn't come up for me, Estelle. So that's $6 a kilo. That's not bad. You'll have to add in your delivery. Let's work it out. It might be cheaper to buy it locally. If your local health food shop might be able to do a deal if you buy it in bulk. I'm not suggesting you're going to need 25 kilos or anything, but if you want to buy 5 kilos or 10 kilos, that might, depends what you use it for and how much you use each time, doesn't it? They might do a deal for you and do it in bulk. Postage is ridiculous anywhere, Fiona. Australian postage is disgusting, absolutely disgusting. And I had a chuckle to myself yesterday when I was listening in the Australia Post. Says everyone needs to send their Christmas parcels early because they can't guarantee delivery. Look, I waited. They can't guarantee delivery because they don't have enough people employed. I'm sure that's the problem. I had a parcel sitting not 3 kilometres from me, and it sat there for 6 days before it was delivered. I nearly went insane watching it just sit there for no reason. Oh, it's dry. Yeah, ask them. Ask Estelle. It doesn't hurt to ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. And even if they don't sell it in the store in bulk, they may be able to buy it in bulk for you through them. So, uh, 3 litres of olive oil from WA every 3 months, $63 including delivery. I think that's a good price for olive oil. Anyway, okay. So that's me and my plans for the next few days anyway. Well, next couple of weeks. Getting ready to stock the pantry with ingredients for next year. I already know that I don't need tinned tomatoes, as in commercial tinned tomatoes. We've got plenty. I still have a couple of jars left of my home canned tomatoes for this year that I will use up. Plenty of beans still, so I will only do a small top up of the beans. I think, did I pack a lot of beans in Mylar? Yes, I did. One show, one night, we packed a lot of beans and things in Mylar. Well, I've been gradually using those up because I can can them, pressure can them. And then we'll have, I call them taco beans or whatever. Taco beans sounds better than just beans. And I know if they're labelled taco beans, I know that they're ready to go into haystacks or into mince for tacos or something like that. So it's just easy to do. So I've been working my way through that. And we used a lot of the soup mix this year with lots of soups over winter. So I'll top that up. Little things like that just need topping up, not necessarily huge, big whole replacements of all of it, because that was a really big bulk buy I bought last year of those things and put them in the Mylar. Someone was asking over on Cheapskates Chatter about putting pasta in Mylar. I don't bother if it's, we use our stockpile. My idea of a stockpile, of a stocked pantry, is it's there to be used. Now, I keep enough for 12 months. So every 12 months, everything in our pantry should be rotated through and replaced with something new. So it never gets old. So I don't normally bother about putting pasta in Mylar or vacuum sealing it or anything. I store it in a sealed box and I keep it cool and dry and try and keep it out of the light. Pasta, it's on the Forever Foods list. It's going to keep a long time. It will darken over time and it may get harder, so it will take longer to rehydrate, to soften up when you cook it, but it's not going to go off. So unless you're absolutely building a prepper pantry where you're going to store stuff and want it to last 20 years, I don't see the point of that for those types of things. That's not the type of pantry I run. Yes, I keep a stockpile. I keep my pantry full. I keep it at a level that's comfortable for me, and that is making sure we can live for 12 months without going to the store. That's my level of comfort. That's my happy place for the pantry. We rotate through it. We use it all the time. Every day I go to the pantry and I take whatever we need for the day and we use it. Now, as things are replaced, I might get a great deal on chicken and I will replace the jars of chicken, the mince or whatever, and turn it over. If I got a great deal on, if the apple trees were producing a lot this year, I would have had heaps of apples to go in the freezer. That sort of thing. It rotates through. Nothing stays on our pantry shelf longer than maybe 14 months at the very most. It gets rotated through. We use it all the time. And that's my idea of the perfect pantry. One that will feed us without me having to go to a store for 12 months. And one that we can rotate through and use all the time. So nothing gets stale, nothing goes off, nothing goes rancid, that sort of thing. It's really important to use what you have in your pantry. If you don't use it and you're not a full-blown prepper, then it's just wasted money taking up space. The idea is to build your pantry and use it. It's there to be used. It's there to feed your family, to keep your clothes clean, to keep your house clean, to keep your hair clean with the shampoo or whatever. It's there to be used. So don't build a big pantry and stand there and it's nice. I love it when the pantry's full. And yes, I do stand there and smile at it like a loon. That's so pretty. But I'm not afraid to use it. Don't be afraid to use what you put in your pantry. Same with preserving. How many people, make jam, but they don't eat it. They don't use it. Or they'll make pickles, but they sit on the shelf and they look pretty, but they don't use them. It's there to be used. It's meant to be used. No, because I buy ingredients, Cheryl. Cheryl asked, when I do a yearly shop, is there anything I've bought that hasn't lasted well in storage for that long? No, the only things that I'm a bit iffy about are the dried fruits. So sultanas, raisins, the mixed dried fruit, glacé cherries. But I tend to put those in, leave them in their packet, put them in zippy bags and put those in the freezer. I will freeze those. I don't mind freezing those. But they just go a bit sugary. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. And once you use them in your cooking or whatever, like the sultanas, if I'm going to throw them into a cake, I will soak them in some boiling water first. If I'm putting them in a curry, I just toss them in. So I haven't had anything particular. Oh, no, I tell a lie. I buy the UHT creams, the little UHT creams for when we're traveling. Either those or the tins, the Nestle tins. But sometimes the tins are hard to get. So I buy the little UHT creams. You really have to check the dates on those because that does not keep well past its best before. I don't care what anybody says. That's one thing I'm particular about using up on its date, is those UHT creams. They just, we were making scones one day, and I pulled one open, can get the whipping cream ready to whip it up, and it was just, ugh, no. So I'm really particular about those. So I do keep an eye on those, and I only buy enough for whatever trips we're planning for the year. We sort of, like we know we'll be going away in January. We know we're going away in May. We might be going away in August. So we sort of, I know roughly how many to get for the trips. Otherwise, no, everything's been fine. Because I only buy enough for the year. So all your tinned goods should be good for 2 years. Your dry goods should be good for 2 years. Cereals should be good for 2 years. Now, I don't buy a lot of cereal anymore. In fact, Annabelle was making honey joys. I think it was Annabelle was making honey joys on her blog the other day. I haven't made those for ages, because they used to be a birthday party thing. I want honey joys. Well, I had honey and I had butter. I even had sprinkles. I didn't have cornflakes. So I sent one of the boys to get me a box of just one box of cornflakes. Yeah, that's about it. I'm sure if I was building the pantry for longer, then I would look at different ways of storing things and different ways of preserving things. But, butter goes in the little freezer. Butter's fine in the freezer. Cheese, I usually get like 12 blocks of cheese at a time, which when everybody was home and everybody was taking lunches and having sandwiches and cheese sauce for veggies and stuff, a kilo of cheese a week was nothing. There were 5 of us, so that was just 200 grams a week. So that wasn't too bad when you break it down like that. So I could buy 12 blocks and that would last us 12 weeks. Well, now I buy 12 blocks and it might last us 16 or 17 or 18 weeks, because we don't eat as much cheese. There's not as many of us eating out of the fridge. So little things like that. Sometimes I would get it cheaper. I would put it in the freezer, but it's really only good for grating when it comes out of the freezer. Tasty cheese doesn't slice nicely when it comes out of the freezer. Cheddar cheese does, but we're not particularly fond of cheddar cheese. It's just a bit blah, isn't it? It's a bit bland. So, yeah. Hope that answers your comment. I went down a bit of a rabbit hole, didn't I? Estelle went off pickles by eating too many. Estelle, for your pickle, okay. For your pickles, if you're going to eat them, like have them on 2 or 3 sandwiches a week, get a little container and take the pickles out of the jar and put them in the little container with the lid and pop them back in the fridge, and they will dry. The vinegar will evaporate off them, and they won't dry as in be dried, but they won't drip on your sandwiches for the week. I do that with the beetroot for Wayne's lunches, for his salad sandwiches. I do it with the tomato. I slice every Sunday night. I will slice enough tomato for him for his lunches for the week, and I put it in a container. Now I stand the, you can't see me, can I? I stand the slices up in the container, and the juice runs to the bottom. So when they come out, there's nothing to drip on the bread. And I do that. I know that's just me because there's nothing worse than soggy tomato bread. I couldn't eat it, so I don't expect him to. But I do that with the tomato. I do it with the beetroot, the burger pickles. He uses my burger pickles on his salad sandwiches. I slice the onion, do the same thing into an airtight container in the fridge, so it's all ready to go. It just makes making lunches easier during the week. Yeah, Linky family, it crumbles. It dries out. The cheese dries out when it's frozen. It's not good. Draining pickle jars like the Tupperware ones from Kmart. That sounds like a good deal. I'm still trying to follow. Okay, all right. So that's me for the next week or two. It might take me a bit longer. I'm just taking it slow at the moment. I still run out of oomph. And walking any distance is still going to find me going, I feel like I'm 110 years old. So I'm just taking it very slowly. But there you go. If you're not convinced about once a year shopping, try once a month shopping. If you're not convinced about that, try planning January shopping over the next 2.5 months so you don't have to shop in January, because really the specials in January are usually junk anyway. And we all know that we don't need junk. We're going to have enough junk at Christmas. So oh, glass ones you flip upside down. Okay. Glass ones you flip upside down. Interesting. That's the pickle thing, isn't it? Okie dokie. All righty. So thank you for watching tonight. Thank you for joining me and joining in the conversation. If you like tonight's show, please give it a thumbs up. Those little thumbs up help YouTube know that people actually do watch our videos, that people like to watch them. And that means that YouTube makes us easy to find. And of course, the easier it is to find us, the easier it is for us to spread the message that it is absolutely okay to live life debt-free, cashed up and laughing, even during a cost of living crisis. And if you'd like more information about how to live the cheapskates way, head on over to our website. The link is below. There is a ton of information that will get you started and help you reach your goal of debt-free living. And one last thing, if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It just means you won't miss out on any of our videos. And I really appreciate your help in keeping our channel active. I'll be back next week, 7:30 Eastern time, Eastern summer time. We all need to adjust to that. Now, I'm not sure what the topic will be. So drop your comments in the suggestions and I will pick one. There we go. That Lacey dog stopped barking. I wonder what she stopped barking at. Hope she's still out there. Yeah, if you've got an idea, drop it in the comments or in the comments below me. I do read all the comments and I will pick a topic for next week, because the week after that will be the handmade Christmas show and tell. And I am so excited to show you what I've been working on all year. I'm finding things. I thought, oh, I forgot I did that. Oh my gosh, I forgot I did those. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I'm having a great time pulling things out, checking them over. So I'm going to look forward to sharing that with you next week. In the meantime, have a great week, everyone. And remember, happy cheapskating. See you soon.